second episode in November. Only a handful of episodes left this year for the Energy is Love podcast. Our goal at the beginning of this year, when Stephanie and I started recording, when we started recording together at the beginning of this year and doing every episode together, which has been super awesome, was to release a brand new episode every single week. And by and large, we have accomplished that goal. And we're almost like in the home stretch now. So thank you for supporting the podcast, all you people out there listening. If you want to throw us some cash to help with the production costs of this podcast, go to the website at energyislovepodcast.com. Scroll down to the bottom of that first page, and you will see a little button that says donate. Super easy to do via PayPal. You can give us a one-time donation of $6 million, or you can donate $1 a month if you'd really want to, or if you'd like to. Either way, all that money just goes towards this fun little podcast that we do, and it would help. At the end of the day, it all helps. I want to give a real quick shout out to Everyman. First and foremost, go to everyman.com. It's EVRYMAN.com. They just recently rolled out a new platform on their website that makes it super easy to find groups across the country or the world as well. So go to their website, click on the groups tab, I think is what it's called up top, but it's really easy to find. And you can search state by state by your location, and you can see if there is an existing men's group, an existing Everyman group already in your area, and reach out to the person that is organizing that group and show up and check it out. Also, it makes it really easy if you want to start your own group. You can do that. You can also just jump on the wait list for groups in your area. All of it is really easy and streamlined now, and you can go to their website and see it all. I would highly recommend doing that. And if you are in Utah and one of the many, many listeners that we have here locally, you can go to their website and do that and contact us here in Salt Lake City, or you can just shoot me an email if you want to come check out our men's group, because we'd love to have you. On this episode, Stephanie and I break down, we do break down towards the end of it because it got pretty intense for both of us. But during the episode, we talk about a bunch of different things like we always do. And the main focus was me up on my soapbox ranting about men and masculinity and what's portrayed out in social media land as far as pushing harder, running faster, lifting more weights, really just that whole dynamic of what men are and how they're viewed and how they're portrayed and what we idolize and look up to, and how I want to see the other side of the coin. I want to see the reverse side. I want to see more emotional, real, raw vulnerability from people that gets disseminated out there in the world. And eventually we get around to realizing, even though we've talked about it before, but how important that is for us to do that in our own lives, whether it be on fucking Instagram or just in our everyday interactions with people. So you get some of that towards the end of the episode, and it's pretty real and pretty raw. And you are welcome. So sit back, relax, turn it up as always, and enjoy another wonderful episode with Steph and Craig. Here we go.
You're listening to the Energy is Love podcast.
Energy is love.
The Energy is the Love podcast.
The Energy is Love podcast.
Energy is love.
The Energy is Love podcast.
The podcast for the universe.
The Energy is Love podcast.
Good morning.
Good morning. I was going to ask you, do you know what a Foley artist is?
A Foley artist?
Uh-huh. Mm-mm. So I think that's the proper terminology for them, or
so
the
you might be
proper
asking
name.
a question that nobody knows because it's not real?
I think it's a Foley. The art of Foleyiness, which totally isn't the correct way, but like a Foley artist would be the person that makes all the sounds, all the sound effects for movies and stuff like that.
I thought they were special effects specialists.
No, it's like a Foley artist would be the person that crushes the watermelon and records that sound as something, or
like the thunder, the saw.
Yeah.
Huh, that's cool. I didn't know that. What brought that to your mind?
Because I just, as we were doing the silence, and then I rubbed my nose, and I'm like, I wonder, what's that a sound of? Or, I don't know.
It sounds like rubbing noses.
It sounds like rubbing noses because you can see it.
Okay, do it again.
No, don't. We're not going to play. What sound is this?
Why not?
What
It's so much fun.
visualization do you have here? What?
Sometimes sounds sound like things that they are not.
Sometimes sounds.
Okay, it's the point, but I'm referring to yesterday, but I'm not going to say what it was.
Oh, no, you can say what that was. That's pretty funny.
No.
It's not. It's only embarrassing for me.
Well, no, I'm not going to embarrass you.
Not for you. That's okay.
No.
Baby, the person listening is like, what are they talking about now?
I know they'll never know.
So I got out of the shower and I was brushing my teeth and I was standing over at the window. Keep in mind, I just barely got out of the shower, so I'm totally naked. And I'm standing over at our window.
It makes it sound like your junk's pressed up against the window.
No.
You were not. You were standing by the window, but you weren't like...
I'm standing by the window, brushing my teeth as I'm looking outside because it was a nice, beautiful day. And I was just kind of looking at the mountains and looking at the blue skies. And I'm like, oh, it's a nice, pretty day today. And Stephanie happens to walk in the bathroom at that point. And
his back is to me. He's completely naked. And he's brushing his teeth. He's got one hand like down, but the other hand's brushing his teeth. And I can't like see it from the way he's twisted. So I don't know where his hand is, but all I can hear is... I can't make the sound. It sounds like I didn't think he was brushing his teeth. I thought he was thoroughly enjoying the morning, the beautiful scenery. I thought, I was like, damn.
I'm just super into nature.
It looked like he was really like, which, you know, you should absolutely love yourself in all of those ways.
If it's a beautiful day outside, I'm going to enjoy it.
I get excited over sunrises too. They turned around with the toothbrush and was like, "Hi," and I'm like, "Oh my god, that is not what I thought you were doing."
That's funny.
It was so funny. The sound was so.
Yeah, it's totally a scene in a movie.
It was totally.
And then they turn around and they're brushing their teeth, and yeah,
you're like, "Oh, everything's fine." Oh, but it was funny. I giggled about it for a while.
You're cute.
I love you.
I was thinking earlier, we totally have to take this on the road.
Okay.
The podcast on the road. What were you?
So does that mean you're a Foley artist?
I'm definitely not a Foley artist.
It could have been the sound effects. Do you think they use brushing the teeth?
I'm sure they do.
As sound effects for like pornos or something? They're like, ooh, it sounds like this, but somebody's just brushing their teeth in front of a microphone.
I don't know if they do Foley stuff for porns. They probably do.
I don't know.
That would be a fun job.
God, wouldn't it? What sounds like a sound?
Yeah, I was a Foley artist for porns. A lot of cantaloupe stuff. Grapefruits. A lot of grapefruits.
There's a whole YouTube video about that.
Very comfortable with my fruits. No, but I was thinking earlier, because I think we talked about it earlier in the summer, where we should totally take the podcast on the road and do some live events, some live recordings.
Where are we going?
Wherever we want to go. Okay. But I thought about this cool thing. You know how I have the thing where I want to, like, where I think I can feel your hand and know that it's you.
Oh God!
So I have this whole thing. Yeah, like the whole thing that I have is I want to at some point have some, like I always think about it at parties that we go to or something like that, even though we don't really go to parties. But I'm convinced.
Our annual party that we go to.
Our one Halloween party every year that we go to. But I'm convinced that you could blindfold me and then line up a bunch of women and I could walk up to those women.
This isn't creepy.
It's not creepy at all. But like I could hold the hand of the woman and decide just by holding her hand whether or not it's Stephanie. And like I could, you know, like pretend that I'm blind and and we go to the point where I could stand next to you and just like smell you and be able to tell that it's you. I smell good,
by the way.
You do smell good.
It's not like you'd be like, damn, that's my woman.
No, but I know your smell. I know your scent. I know your pheromones. My scent. So I was thinking that would be a fun thing that we could do at one of our live events.
That would be.
We could have a couple that is there and is willing to come up on stage, and then have the husband or the wife, either one. It works both ways. And then bring up a slew of other people, and then, you know, have them move down the line and see if they can tell which one is their significant other by touching their hand or something.
We would have to find some really easygoing couples, though, because can you imagine the fights that would start?
Well, you'd get pissed at me if I chose wrong.
I wouldn't.
You know?
We already went over that. The thing that my crazy brain would have done is thought that Oh my God, I can't admit to that. That's so dumb. That's so embarrassing. I would not get mad at you. I would just immediately think that I wasn't enough. Is what I would do, and be like, oh, he really wants to be with that person. That's where his soul felt aligned to, and it's not. I would have just felt like I wouldn't have got mad at you.
But like all I'd have to do is like hold the hand. Like, how we hold hands?
Mm-hmm.
Like I would do that with each person. And I think just by holding their hand, I would be able to tell whether or not it was your hand. And then I would know that it was you. Because your hand feels very like
Is there something
specific.
wrong with my hand?
Not at all.
Is it like that lumpy, bumpy, weird hand is totally distinguishable?
Yeah, it's all the boils and warts that you have on your hand that make it stand out.
Double, toil and trouble. That's right.
But I think it would be a cool experiment.
Seriously, is there something wrong with my hands? Do I have like freak hands?
No, dork. There's absolutely nothing wrong with your hands.
You couldn't grab my left hand because you can also identify my ring. So
yeah.
You would have to.
Yeah, it'd have to be a hand without a ring. Mm-hmm. And then you do have some like significant scars on your hand, but I don't think that.
What do you mean significant scar? I totally make it sound like I have freak hands.
Oh my goodness. Look at my hands. My hands.
What's significant?
I've got a big scar on my left thumb that would totally give it away if you knew about it.
Okay, well, I guess I do have, but that's also on my left hand.
Yeah. But I wouldn't be feeling.
I do have scars.
I wouldn't be feeling for the scars. I would just feel your hand itself.
I do have. I have smiley faces.
I have smiley faces too on my left hand.
They're happy scars.
Think about how not dumb, but think about how interesting this would be too. Because I just thought of how difficult it would be to put on like a latex glove and then try to do it. I'm like, I don't know if I could. As soon as you put a latex glove on, in my mind, it would be like, I don't know what I'm touching or feeling anymore.
It's like the lead shield for the x-rays. Nothing shall come through. You wouldn't know. Yeah, I don't think you would either. I wouldn't. That would just be...
It's got to be skin to skin.
So anybody willing to just come stand in a line with me and let my husband touch you, if he can figure out if it's
I think we should probably, let's not do this on the podcast stage. Let's just go to downtown Salt Lake and try this out. We'll just see if we can get 10 women to stand in a line.
But the thing is, too, is...
I'm just going to touch you for a minute.
It's going to be fine. I'm also a smart ass. So if you're down for that, like, how do you know that I'm not going to pull a quick one and do some practical joke with you?
Yeah.
That isn't just like, haha, I wasn't in the line. That's just like every time you reach your hand out at somebody's ass that you accidentally grab, or there's different body parts that come there and you're like, oh. Maybe it's a chicken.
Yeah.
Like
You could have a lot of fun with it.
I could have a lot of fun. So you're very trusting too. You're all sweet. You're like, baby, I love you. I could feel you. I would know it's you. And I'm like, how can I fuck with them?
How convinced are you that you would know my hand?
I think if it was a situation where like all the power went out and I'm trying to find you and I'm just feeling, I would absolutely know it was you. But I think if you stood me in a line and you said, okay, blindfolds, let's see how much you love me, find my hand, I'd just melt down right there. I would crumble into the fetal position. The pressure would be too much. I couldn't do it.
The thing is not, let's see how much you love me.
That's what it would feel like. It would feel like I would be failing as...
It's totally just a fun thing is all.
I could find you in a power outage on a subway, no sounds. I could find your hand and I would know it was you.
If it's the quiet place.
If it's the quiet place, I could absolutely. In
and
a crowd.
You can't move, but you have to find me and we can't talk and it's dark.
I could find you.
You could find me.
Mm-hmm. I could find you.
Yeah.
But
well, one
not
day,
under pressure.
I think we should make a goal of doing a live podcast next year.
Okay. Well, you know how we do goals.
Yeah, we kill them.
Kill them. So.
We kill them. We're goal killers.
Bam, bam.
You got a goal, that's fine. We'll kill it.
So are you talking like just like on location live, or are you going to figure out how to live stream it?
We won't live stream it.
Yeah. You can do that.
I know you can.
I almost want to like actually know if I know that we're live and I know I would choke.
No, you wouldn't.
I would be sitting here like, ugh.
Yeah, I don't think we'll worry. I don't think we'll worry about live streaming it.
This one time at band camp, that's the only thing I could come up with.
But I do think we'll need to worry about recording it. So there's a video of it. And then we can put that up on the YouTube channel as well as just the audio of it.
That was a good joke I just told.
Sorry.
Why didn't you laugh at my joke?
Because I wasn't listening. I was visualizing the process of what it would take to record it, the audio, the connections, the tripods, where they'd be going, all the angles, the stage that we'd be on,
That's why
the lighting, what we're going to do. We probably should have a guest. I was visualizing all of that.
This is why you don't think I'm funny.
In the span of your joke.
This is why. It's because you don't hear it. I'm actually funny. You think I'm just not funny, but I'm funny. You just don't hear it.
I know you're funny. I don't think you are. I know you are.
I feel like there's a little jab in there somewhere.
You feel like there's a punchline to
a little
that one?
bit. A little bit. You're just bigger.
Where could we do our live podcast, though?
I don't know. City Creek.
City Creek. We could do it. We could do it at Wise Guys.
Yeah.
They do them there.
Oh, that would be fun, actually.
Yeah.
That's a really good idea. That would be
do it
fun.
At Wise Guys. We're not quite a comedy podcast, though.
I think, well, if you would recognize I'm actually quite funny.
Maybe if we have a comedian.
I'm quite funny.
Yeah.
I am quite funny.
You are funny. See, once again, I wasn't listening to you.
Exactly.
I was visualizing this thing in the future.
If only we could figure out the problem.
Anyways, stay tuned to 2020 and the live podcasting that is going to take place. Not maybe, but will.
Yeah.
And then we can go on the road.
All right.
That was a big Foley sound that I will need to edit out when I go back through this episode.
Did it bother you?
No.
So will you listen to what I'm saying? Hi, Craig.
I like that sound.
Shut up.
I'm visualizing something there. It is Naughty November.
Oh, okay.
That's why I was looking outside jerking off.
Oh my God, you weren't. You're brushing your teeth.
And brushing my teeth at the same time.
You are skilled.
That's how much I like the toothpaste. There's just something about the oral fixation of the hard brush going in and out of my mouth over and over again. Okay. Deep breaths, everyone. I have some important things that I want to discuss and share on the podcast.
Okay.
This thing has been in my crawl for the last several weeks, and we haven't had the opportunity to talk about it because we've been busy with other things, talking about other things on the podcast. But I'm going to get up on my soapbox. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
We should, for our live shows, we should get a soapbox.
Is it going to be like, how do you want to do it? Do you want to make it like a big bar of soap or a box that looks
just
like
an old
soap
crate that says soapbox on it? And then
that's as creative as you can get with that?
I think it's pretty fucking creative to have a soapbox up on stage.
But like we could have fun with it.
And then we can take turns throwing our feet up on it as we get up on our soapbox.
Yeah, I get the pun. I'm just like,
funny.
Is it just a crate with soapbox written on it in crayon?
God.
Or
Anyways,
can we like have fun with it?
You can have as much fun with that soapbox as you want,
Thank
baby.
you.
So there's this thing. I wanna spark your brain, person listening. I want you to think about this in the context that I'm about to describe and explain. So I follow a lot of people on social media, and like everybody else does, there's this thing that I see consistently, and I see it not just on social media, but also in the media that I keep saying disseminating in my head, but that's the stuff that I put out. The media that I'm taking in, assimilating. What would be the word for that?
I'm sorry. You know how you don't listen?
Ingesting.
I was thinking I haven't turned my phone on silent yet. And so I was like, how am I going to do this? But I can't do it right now.
Attention.
And ruin. Actually, it was on silent. So I'm sorry.
So I was thinking about the media that I ingest. And a lot of stuff that I see, what I'm going to talk about specifically is masculinity. And not just masculinity, but the way that men are portrayed in media. And it's not all media, and you can find stuff that isn't this that I'm about to describe, but I think this is a very, very typical way and a very, specific thing that is going on and taking place. So for example, if you follow The Rock, he's kind of the epitome in some people's minds of what a man is. He's big, he's strong, he's constantly talked about as being incredibly kind and generous, and he seems to be a good father, a good husband. He's loving, he's kind, he's generous, all those different things. But a lot of what he posts about, or a lot of the stuff that you see about him that he posts, right, is like just the grind. He's constantly at the grind. Like, you got to get up and you got to, like, you have to work hard. You have to hit it hard. And it's not just the stuff that you see through him and through his social media is like at the gym. Like, every day he's posting something about lifting weights and pushing harder and lifting more weights and the grind of this and going to this and so on and so forth, just constant pushing. And the physicality of what that looks like, of constant pushing, he's an example of it. I don't actually follow, but because I'm such a fan of Rogan and listening to his fucking podcast, I also see a lot of that shit from people that he's had on his show. So like Cam Hanes. I don't think you know who that is.
I do know who Cam Hanes is.
Cameron Hanes. He's a hunter. But Cameron Hanes is also like an ultra marathon guy. So he runs like a marathon every day, and he'll do like the Moab 240, and he's a marathon guy. So he's constantly running, right? Cam's always running, and he's posting about running and the importance of running. And just like, Cam's a little bit softer with his messaging. He's not quite so like, get off your ass and fucking run. But essentially it's like, you got to put in the work. Keep hammering is his catchphrase, right? Keep hammering is Cam Hanes' catchphrase. So it's always more. Like, you just have to get off your ass and do it. And then you have other people like Jocko. Jocko Willink is another person that you'll see a lot of if you start going down these rabbit holes. And Jocko, hold on, I'm looking for the card that I dropped. Big pause. I cannot have an incomplete deck in my hands. Jocko's a former Navy SEAL who posts a picture of his watch every morning on Instagram because he's up at 4:30 in the morning, hitting the gym, hitting the weights, running, doing whatever it is. And then David Goggins, former Navy SEAL, inspirational guy, constantly posting things to inspire people to essentially get off their ass and stop being fucking pussies, and you just got to push harder. So there's just lots of that stuff out there. And a lot of it is being like disseminated as well as ingested by people. And me personally, I look at it, and what it makes me feel is that I'm lazy, that I need to work harder, that I'm not pushing myself enough, both physically as well as just in life, and my success and my value and my worth. It makes me feel, that I'm dropping the ball, that I'm not, that I'm not doing enough, and that I'm not being enough. And the idea, I think, oftentimes behind some of those guys that are posting that quote unquote motivational stuff that they think is motivational is to push somebody like me past that point of like wanting to encourage me to get off my ass and maybe go to the gym or to go running or to go do something like that. And I get that. And there's been times in my life where I connect to that type of like motivation and that type of encouragement. And there's nothing wrong with it. Like, if you connect with that type of shit and you like those type of guys, that like, there's no judgment here. This whole thing that I'm talking about now is what I want to see. I feel like I'm going off the rails, babe. I feel like I'm all over the place. Am I still pretty?
You're good. You are still pretty.
Am I making sense?
Yes, keep going.
What I want to see is I want to see balance, okay? I want to see balance in this space. Do I think it's important to get up and run every day? Absolutely. Do I think it's important to push yourself physically past what you may think your limits are? Absolutely. I think that's an important thing to do. Do I think it's important to like get back up after you fall down, right? Absolutely. Do I think all of these things have merit and have worth? Absolutely. But the part that I don't like and the part that I struggle with is that I think it's only one side of the coin that is being shown, and one part of the picture, of the total picture of what a balanced man looks like. And it's the part that people gravitate to the most, I think, and it's the part that is being both put out as well as consumed the most, where somehow that is where all worth lies in a person or in a man, where unless you are physically fit and killing it at your whatever job you're doing and constantly pushing yourself and fuck this, I'm up at 4:30 every morning. You know why? Because that's what makes me better. Blah, 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 right? Unless you're doing all of those things, then somehow you aren't truly a man, or you aren't truly living up to your potential as a human being. So I want more bounce in that space. I want to see the opposite side of the spectrum rather than, like, I would love to see The Rock post something about, like, how cool would it be to watch a fucking stupid Insta story of him talking about something emotional that he's dealing with in his life, and not necessarily in the way that he's killed that emotional experience where, like, I killed this, right? I had this difficult emotional thing that I had to go through, but I fucking did it and blah, blah, blah. But rather just like some raw vulnerability, some moment in time where him showing the vulnerableness of whatever might be coming up for him in his life or whatever he's experiencing. That's what I would like to see.
Yeah.
I would like to see, so like David Goggins, he recently did the Moab 240. I think it's what it's called, or the Moab 200. Anyways, it's a fucking 200 plus mile race that you run all at once, right? So it's like nonstop. You run 240 miles or something like that. And he, I don't want to say he failed because he didn't fail, but he had to stop. He got like 100 miles in or however far he got in. And then the doctor disqualified him and he had to go to the hospital because he was experiencing some sort of medical issue. That,
After running 100 miles?
I don't know if it was just 100 miles, but anyways, he basically got disqualified from the race and couldn't continue, and he had to go to the hospital. And then for it was the next day, he was back out on the course finishing the race, even though the race was done and over with and nobody was there anymore. He went back and finished the race. So yeah, very honorable, very cool, very neat. Congratulations, like that showing determination, right?
Yeah.
What I would rather have seen, or in conjunction with all of the shit that he shared about the challenge of that, and like, I would rather see like him in the hospital bed and the despair of what it was like to realize that, fuck, like I'm really disappointed in myself right now. Whatever he may have been feeling. Yeah. I would rather see those posts than the posts of him a day later out there running the trail when nobody's watching anymore. Right? Yeah, that's awesome too. But I want more balance in that space. I want to see the other side of these men and what they're doing. And I want it seen by people so that it's a broader, bigger picture. Because I think that oftentimes is the more important stuff than whether or not you're killing it at the gym or, running a marathon a day or whatever the case may be. I want the whole picture seen and shown. I want to see the whole picture. I want to see more of it. Did you ever get around to watching the barber TED Talk thing that I did? I didn't do it, but the one that I shared on Facebook of the New Zealand barber guy.
Yes.
Did you watch the whole thing yet?
I have been busy, mister.
So you haven't seen it yet?
My first break where I've been able to like not have something that I have to constantly be running towards, and I'm spending it on a podcast with my husband. So no, I haven't watched any social media shit yet. I haven't watched any TED Talks, and I'm sorry I haven't seen yours, but I can't.
You haven't seen mine. I haven't.
I know I haven't seen the one you post, but I've seen about it. I've heard like little clips, so I know like what it's about, and I love it. I just haven't watched the TED Talk yet. Well, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Maybe I'll share it on the Facebook page since we're talking about it. So then if you want to know which one we're talking about, you can go to the Facebook page and see it.
And I'll let y'all know. I'll comment, watched, completed. I'll do it at 4:30 in the morning with a picture of my watch. Be like, boom, killing it.
There's a part
you gotta want it.
There's a part probably. I mean, it's towards the end of his talk where this man is like up on stage and just like stands there in all of this like beautiful raw vulnerability that is, you can see the emotion on him. You can feel the emotion coming out of him. It's just this beautiful moment. And he continues to like breathe through it, talk through it, completely like present himself through the entire experience. But it's very, very like, just beautiful to watch. So such an emotional experience of just watching it. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, that's what I want to see more of. I want to see men standing up in that type of experience on a big stage, rather than this is how I fucking achieve everything, and this is how I fucking do it, and I push harder, and I run faster, and I'm up at 4:30 in the morning making my fucking bed out of the, yeah, all of that stuff is wonderful. And we need to bring that into our lives and do more. I need to do more of that stuff. I'm not out of bed at 4:30 in the morning, right?
Actually, you are. You go.
I'm not out running marathons. I'm not physically fit right now.
Well, you're definitely less of a man because of that.
Well, that's the idea.
I know. That's why I said it.
That's why. That's the feeling that I get stuck in sometimes. But I want to see the other side, and I think we need to start like showing that other side, but also like, what does that other side look like, right? Because it's not as easy to condense into some, like if I took a picture of my watch we were sitting at the kitchen table earlier at 8:37 in the morning, and I had this big emotional experience, right? I can't take a picture of my watch and then say, here we go, that 8:37 in the morning, I sat at the kitchen table and cried with my wife. I could, but...
Yeah, I think that's a goal. A lot of people can't do it in the whole lifetime, and you've managed to do it before 9 a.m. Bam.
I don't know what those
I'd follow you on Instagram.
Well, you already follow me on Instagram. I don't know what those look like, right? I don't know what those, I don't know what that would look like on a bigger scale, but I don't think it's that difficult. I don't think it would be that challenging, right? But I think it would be really neat to see. Because I think that oftentimes these men that are put up on these pedestals as kind of like the epitome of what this man, what masculinity is in its healthy way, in its healthy form, right? Because they push hard, they're strong, they're fit, they're good fathers, husbands, whatever the case may be. We're only seeing a part of it. Mm-hmm. And so it's not to say that I don't think they have the other side. I don't think, it's not to say that they aren't emotionally balanced as well. But I kind of don't think they are. Yeah. I kind of think that they're probably not as connected emotionally into that space. And if they are, great, fucking show us. Let's see that. Because we've seen enough of the other stuff, right? We've seen enough of men talking about how they can run long distances or lift heavy things, and that's what makes them manly. We've seen enough of that. Yep. Let's see the other side now, right? Let's see your vulnerability. Let's see your emotion. Let's fucking see you cry, right? That's such a silly thing, I think, that we even, that's not a sign of anything either, right? That doesn't prove that you're an emotional man, or that you're not, or that you're weak, or that doesn't mean anything. That just is a simple bodily response to emotion. But I want to see some more things out of these men that we're putting up on these pedestals as masculine, strong, important men. I want to see more. I don't want to just see your determination to push yourself physically. Where's your determination to push yourself emotionally? Yeah. Right. That's what I want to see. And I think that's what we need to show.
Me too.
Okay, babe. Let's hear your thoughts.
My thoughts?
Give me the female perspective.
I definitely have that. Well, in reference...
You are a woman. I love you.
He said he loves me because I'm giving him a look. I like zoned in on him. Female perspective with that part. I can speak with my perspective. I want to see that side in men too. There's definitely a lot of been very, privy to that type of masculinity and the push go, and also thinking that makes them more, I don't know, they really strut around the females like that too.
Yeah.
And
There's
it's
sexuality involved in it too. They're more appealing. They're more attractive.
So
they're
they
more.
think, yes.
Yeah.
And so but that has never been like, wow, you lift so much. You're such a man. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Panties just hit the floor. That's never worked for me. I've never been like, the more you talk about how much you lift, how strong you are, the cars, your money, all that shit, I just like, oh my God, stop talking. I'm a nice person. So I'll usually just like, that's good. Good job. Yay. But the conversations that I interact with and that pull me in are when they talk about what they're feeling. Yes, you have your accomplishments, but they will talk about their struggles. They'll talk, and it's that whole thing. When you get that person, that's what I'm drawn to. So it's funny that I can look at that with the men, but then with the women, because like what you're talking about, yeah, it's the same exact thing with women. By the way, you have to get up at this amount of time. You have to do your hair. You have to do your makeup. You have to always look pretty. You have to always look presentable, and you have to be fit. You have to be the perfect wife. You have to be the perfect mom. You have to like hold this amazing power job. You have to make all of these things work. And if you're not one of that, then you'd like the ultimate stay-at-home Pinterest mom. Like it is absolute perfection, or you are garbage. And not only are you garbage, you are replaceable and you're not worthy. And of course, you deserve to be left by your husband or significant other, because look at you, you're garbage. You're this fat slob, bomb eating pig. It's just that horrible thing that goes both ways. So when I look at men and I see how that doesn't work, and it's the whole package, and I want to see the faults, I want to see the humanness in them. But when I see women that are killing it, I'm like, oh fuck, I suck. I suck. I'm not enough. It makes sense when I can look at that. And from the masculinity, but the femininity part of it, I feel like I'm not worthy. I feel it. And the thing that's like really jumping out the most right now is it is always competition, bigger and better. Who has the most followers? Who has the most this? Like men and women are so at war with things, but oh my God, it's the exact same. It's the exact same. They're the exact same, both striving to be worthy. Anyways.
What do you think is like the clear equivalent on the feminine side?
Was this where you tuned me out again? Because I think I explained that from the get-go.
No, I get what you're saying, but like if we had to boil it down to like what I'm describing in the masculine side is all this physical stuff. Like what would it be the equivalent?
It is also the physical stuff, but it is not just physical. With the body perfection and all the gym and all the reps and all the things that you can do and all the running and look how fit, not an ounce of fat or cellulite. By the way, your boobs never missed a beat, and you are expected to have children, and your body's not supposed to look like it, because if you don't have children, somehow you're less. Or if your body looks like you had children, well, then you failed as a woman, because a real woman would still have the perky breasts and the tight abs and not a single stretch mark, not a single moment of it. Makeup is always there. You will take the time for the Botox and the fillers and the facial scrubs and the facial peels, because if you don't, you're just a lazy, ugly cow. So the hair has to be perfect, cut, dyed, styled every morning, the makeup perfection, but you can't wear too much makeup, and it has to look like you don't really wear makeup, because then you're trying too hard. So perfect makeup without looking like you're really wearing a lot of makeup, but be able to kill it at night. Rock the power suit, rock the yoga pants, rock the jeans, whatever you're in, you have to look perfect in all the time, but you can't look like you try too hard, because then you're trying too hard. So you have to try really hard, but look like it's effortless, because if it's an effort, then you failed. So it has to be effortless for you to succeed in all these things. Oh, by the way, your house has to be perfect. Your kids have to be perfect. Your husband has to be perfectly happy. All the sex, all the everything. There is no room for failure anywhere. And if you fail in one area, you're just a failure. It's all done. It's no pressure. I need a breath.
No pressure. Everything's fine. Yeah, big deep breath. Ooh. Okay. What would you like to see?
What would I like to see?
Yeah. From what would you like to see from the women out there?
I would like to see
I would like to see support, because there are women that fight it to no end to achieve it and come down on other women. There are women out there that are able to they just effortlessly make it, or so it seems. They just have all those natural instincts, abilities, and then other women get judged for not having those. I want to see women not being judged for trying, women not being judged for failing. Whatever your goals are, wherever you're at in life, it would just be really nice if we stopped competing with each other. So I think just acceptance of where you're at. Excuse me. That was my version of mic drop. I'm not going to tell them, like, you don't have to try so hard, even though I think if the acceptance was there, then there would be time to breathe. And, oh, by the way, what do I feel in all this? What do I want? How do I feel happiest? You know, when we used to be quite active. We used to run every single day. We couldn't run together very often because
you're talking about you and me.
You and me. You didn't like my pace. My pace wasn't enough. And if I happened to want to walk to warm up, you would not even allow your timer or your tracker, your GPS, whatever. It couldn't count because that would slow your time. That would slow. And any achievement that you had, it could only be measured by your speed in running. And so you didn't like going with me. And that sucked. Even though every day I would do 3 miles. Every single day I would do 3 miles as a minimum. And I criticized myself for wanting to walk and wanting to warm up before. But I was the same. I wouldn't start it either because anything that would make my time seem longer and slower, that would make my average lower, I felt as a failure. And so I would see these women that were just out there, just in their like little sports bras and their perfectness and running with the makeup on and looking like perfection and not breaking a sweat. And I'm sounding like a goddamn elephant out there. I'm like, I'm doing it. You know, I didn't like running with you either because I had to breathe. And it was really hard to try and act like I wasn't panting because I didn't want to seem less, which is all this shit was just in our heads, right?
Yeah.
But I hurt so bad. My body hurt, my hips hurt, my legs. I pushed myself to this level that just kept going. I was not feeling healthy. I was doing what you're supposed to do, 3 mile minimum. And that was where I put some value. Every morning I'm trying, I'm making an effort. So at least I'm doing something, but I hurt. And it made I don't know, I can't do it anymore. It took a long time for my legs just to be okay. So I was injuring myself. How is that healthy? That's not what works for me. There's people that works for. Great. But, oh, hell, I went off on a tangent.
No, I think it highlights how damn challenging it is to be balanced in all of these different areas, right? So the goal, even though it's silly to place some sort of like goal on it, but like it's really challenging to just be balanced in life, balanced physically and emotionally and spiritually and sexually and mentally and all of these different things. It's really hard to bring balance at the same time to all of them.
Yeah.
You just got done describing a time period in our life that wasn't that too far gone, where we were bringing a lot of balance to our physical side. Very healthy, very active, very fit, right? And where is that space now? I don't know where that space is, right? But I do know where our emotional space is.
Yeah.
And that place is like fucking on fire balanced right now. Super squared away. No, not. We just had, like 2 days ago, you and I both had a shitty fucking day.
Yeah.
We had a shit fuck day that was full of frustration and anger and disconnect and like fucking horrible feelings. And like we were not at each other's throats by any means, but we weren't connected. We were arguing with each other. We were both in our own heads. We just had a real shit fucking day. And through it all, we spent pretty much the entire day together. We ended the day in bed with each other, snuggling, watching some show on television. We woke up the next day and we were able to connect and feel each other. And I mean, it was a horrible day of frustration and pain and discomfort, but it did not.
That we rocked.
that.
Yeah, that we totally moved through. And we commented on how previously that day or a day like that would have fucked us up for a week.
Oh, yeah.
Where we would have been fighting and
Not
at each
talking.
other's throats and disconnected from each other. And so we are killing it emotionally. Yeah. We have brought balance emotionally into our lives. And in the meantime, we've let the physical side of our lives and our bodies and our, persons lack. So now we just have to bring balance back to that while still maintaining balance emotionally.
Oh, I'm sad.
Why?
Why? Because I'm like, you think I'm fat?
I don't think you're
you
fat.
You just said we.
That's not what I'm saying.
I know. A little bit of clarity that you just brought to me on that of like how big of a problem that I actually am. Like I have all these solutions, right? Quit judging people, and everybody should just like the competition needs to stop. And you're talking about how we're rocking it emotionally, and I'm like, You're like, no, we just had this big like day that sucked, and I'm like, oh. Yeah, I see that's is the fault needs to be. Nothing is really a success or an accomplishment if it's completely easy. Like where's the challenge in if it just comes naturally, right? But again, everything doesn't have to be a fucking challenge. My point that I was making was that I felt all or nothing. I was very much judgmental of myself. I'm like, no, I was emotional. I was down. I wasn't 100% happy. So therefore I'm not balanced. Because balance equals 100% happy. Balance equals 100% fit. Balance equals 100% killing it. I know. I'm expressing that. I'm like, oh, that's so not balanced, you dumbass. But that's where my mind goes. It's that 100%. Not only do you feel the competition? It's yourself. It's the competing against yourself, which is the standards that no one can ever, ever meet, which is why here's my picture of my watch at 4:30 in the morning or whatever it is. Here I am at the gym, flawless, not breaking a sweat. Like I'm never going to meet those standards, but I'm going to try really hard because somewhere in there, I'll find my worth. Somewhere in there, enough people will see my worth that I might feel some of the worth. Like that sucks.
Yeah.
Like, so everybody just needs to love themselves.
At the end of the day,
encourage everybody. Who cares where they're at? Who cares where the person sitting next to you at? Who cares if they are like freaking top of the line, whatever? Who cares if you're sitting next to the rock and you're sitting next to fucking me? Like whatever. Who cares what's on the other side? Like why can't we just encourage this person without minimizing the next person? And why can't we encourage this person without saying, but if you did this, you'd be better. Like, this is where you are. Great. No competition. How does that feel? Whew. This is where you are. Great. No expectations. How does that feel? And then find yourself in the middle and be like, this is where I am. No competition, no expectations. I get to strive for me, not because of what it's supposed to look like. And I'm done. Hold on, it's not going to stop.
Take your breath.
I've talked too much. I don't think I understand. And this is my point, the best it can be. Babe, there's part of me that's a little pissed off.
What are you a little pissed off by?
It's part of me that's broken. It's the part of me that's like hearing you. It's sometimes women are assholes, Yeah, I know. Here goes your eyebrows. Men are assholes. We know this. Women are also assholes. I'm sitting over here as a woman listening to you expressing that, not like waiting for my opportunity to say, yeah, is that hard? Welcome to the life of a woman. Like you're just like realizing like, oh, we shouldn't have to do this. Push this hard. I'm like, I'm waiting to like jump on the attack to be like, shut up, man. Women have to deal with this constantly, which is horrible. And then I see, oh my God, shut up, woman. Men have also been dealing with this constantly, which is why there's that conflict. It's the exact same. There's no difference. Men have to be the best. Women have to be the best. Men are expected to be able to hold all of this control and this power. And if they're not, they're weak. So how does that work when
A man is not a man if he isn't perfect, if he isn't flawless, if he isn't able to hold all this power. The bigger dick he is, the more power he has, the more respect, the more of a man. Like, that's gotta suck. And so guys are probably thinking like, oh God, is it hard to put on makeup? Shut up. And women are like, oh, is it hard to go lift a weight? Shut up. You know?
I wasn't thinking that at all.
No, I'm just like, my eyes are opening to it seems like it's such a contrast, but it is the exact same shade. There's no difference.
Yeah.
So why do we keep fighting each other? It's the same. We can all get along.
Well, what I think
It's silly.
I think it is silly. I think you're right. It is the same, right? Just
the same.
It's just the opposite. And I think that the thing that I really gravitate towards, and it's kind of hard to find because I kind of search it out and I kind of look for it.
Okay.
And when I find it, it's like, oh my God, it's so clear, right? I want real, honest, raw vulnerability.
Yes.
That's what I want. That's what I want to ingest, right? If you put that out into the world, send it my way because I want to take that in. And when we see it, it's very, very clear.
That's where you're gravitated towards.
Yes. So
It's beautiful.
the thing that is like plain and simple and clear as fucking day for me, an example of this is Brene. So
Okay, yes.
when we watch Brene Brown, go watch her fucking Netflix special.
I've seen all of her stuff.
Right.
I've seen those TED Talks.
Yeah. Her
Uh-oh, hold on.
the energy that she brings forth and when she speaks, it really both feels genuine, it feels raw, it feels vulnerable, it feels like honesty and truth, right? That's what I want more of.
Yes.
Plain
In
and simple.
the arena, people.
Yeah. I just want more of that.
Yes.
I don't care what your underlying messaging is. I don't care what what you're trying to achieve. Like we're all trying to be better people and we're all trying to inspire people to be better versions of themselves. But I think the way that we can get there is through this open, honest, raw vulnerability. I want to see your shit in its rawest, purest form, because then it makes it safe for me to show you mine. It makes it safe for me to feel mine, to experience mine, to even look at mine. Right? So I really, really, really think we just need to do away with all the falseness and because there's people out there that paint their shit, right? They'll pretend like they're being vulnerable and they'll bring it forth and they'll put it on front and center, but it's not real. It's still false. It still has a patina to it that they've put on it so that it looks pretty, so that they will get people to buy their book or follow their fucking Instagram account or go to their fucking movie this weekend when it opens up.
Sign their retreats, start their groups, pay for all the
I'm so tired of seeing all of that stuff. So, go ahead.
Well, no, you had a so.
No.
Like,
I won't lose my so.
Is your so still in this conversation?
Totally.
Because I have more to say to it. I
Let's
just
hear
don't want to go someplace else. No, continue on.
No, we're not.
I just
going
thought you were
anywhere
going to
else.
be like, on another note. Like, no, I'm not done.
No, go ahead.
Oh, no. Okay. So that's what you gravitate towards.
Yes.
That's where you're like, give me more of that real vulnerability.
Yeah, that's why the guy's TED Talks was like, oh my God.
Okay, here's my whole, like, this kind of like sums everything up to what I was saying. That's what we want, but why are we waiting to give that of ourselves? It's like you said, because then when I see yours, then I feel safe. So what part of us why are we not bringing that first? Why are we not being what we want to see?
Well, that's what my so was.
Is that what your so was? Look at that. All right, let's hear it.
My so was, baby, what can we do now? Because I think we do, right?
Yeah.
You and I have witnessed it within the space of our relationship and our connection and what we've been able to do and grow and share together, right, within our own space. And I think there's times where we do a relatively good job of bringing that to the podcast. We've had copious amounts of fucking raw, vulnerable episodes where we show up and say, here it is in all of its glory, take it or leave it, right? So I'm thinking you and I are already doing a good job.
With each other,
as well as some of what we're putting out into the world, some of what we're disseminating out there for people to take in and ingest. So what can we do more of, babe? Can you think of anything?
Well, I'm immediately getting panicked. I'm like, this is why my circle is so incredibly small, because I don't want fake circles, but I am fucking terrified to show up You show up all day long. I will be there. I will support you. I will help. I will love. I will encourage. I will listen. I will live, like whatever. Show up. I am here. There is no judgment. But when it's time for me to show up, like I'm busy. I got shit to do. I've got a massage that I got to get to. I got like that. My house just needs to be clean. I'm pretty sure today's the day I start running again. Like I don't have time. Suddenly I'm busy. I'm tired. Maybe I'm sick. Somebody needs something else. Whenever it comes time for that, I struggle with that. There's very few people that I show up to. And honestly, babe, there's only one person in my life that I 100% show up to. And while I don't think it's 100%, it is my 100% at this point, and it's growing, and that's you.
It's 100% in moments.
It is 100% in moments.
There's moments where you, bam, ding 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to be able to, do I? I don't know. I went to say it, and I immediately was like, but I do. I want it to be okay for me to show up in 100% all of my faults and achievements and everything with everybody. I want to be able to show up, not like show them all of my, here's all of like my stuff, like not that, but when I want to show up instead of feeling like I just have to be able to catch. I want to pitch. I don't always want to catch. That's me. What about you?
My brain went to my brain went sexual there. You wanna be a pitcher, not
sometimes I want to pitch.
Catcher
sometimes I like pitching. That's my pitching sound.
No, what I was reminded of as you were talking was the great words of Renee, right? Where not everybody deserves your vulnerability.
I'm not talking vulnerability. I'm not talking it all, but I'm talking. So much of it is a constant holding space and absorbing. What can I take? Where do you need help? Where does it? It's
supporting others.
It's not the giving other people the option and the ability and the chance, the opportunity to also do that for me.
Yeah.
And if I do, I tend to fucking disappear.
Yeah.
Because I get scared. I'm like, oh, you can't be around you now.
Okay, I totally get that. You do that with me, right? That's a thing that you're all, here you go, vulnerability, bye-bye.
Not as bad.
You don't. You're getting much better. But so is that something that you want to work on? Is that some way that you want to bring forth what we've been talking about this entire episode and try to make the world a better place by showing up in this form or fashion in your present moment life?
Yes. I want to be the person that shows up like that too for people instead of waiting. Like you show me yours and I'll show you mine. Because turns out I'm like, I saw yours, but I'm still not showing mine. Yeah. So yeah, I do, but I'm scared.
You got to show yours first.
That's why Utah passed the boobs out
Freeing
thing
out the
free. So I'm going to
tatas.
show mine first. So yeah,
I'll get
but
on
I don't
that
know what to do.
bandwagon.
That's something I need to work on.
Okay.
So there's mine.
Okay.
Quit skirting around. You keep like deflecting away when I'm like, what about you? You're like, well, baby, we're not done talking about you yet. So stop. What about you?
I immediately have been distracted by the idea that you're leading the way with tatas out. And I want to support you wholeheartedly. We need to get the campaign going and march on, go down to Temple Square and get those.
Temple Square?
Get those girls out.
Huh.
Temple Square, for those listening, is like the heart of the Mormon church in downtown Salt Lake. It's where like literally the headquarters of the entire religion is.
Exactly.
Anyways.
That's where my boobs are coming out.
I can do the same thing.
Yeah.
I very often simply just am there for people.
Yes.
And very rarely do I lead first with my vulnerability. And it's challenging to do for the exact same reasons for me, right? I do it more and more and more with you.
Yes.
Because I feel safer and safer and safer to do so. But oftentimes I don't do it outside of our relationship. Mm-hmm. But I'm thinking of just yesterday. I was on the phone with a friend of mine, and by me sharing my stuff and my vulnerability and my difficulties and my challenges and where I'm at presently in life, immediately gives him that, ability to feel feel his shit better, feel through his stuff more, support me through mine. It's just a beautiful circle of energy exchange that takes place when we do it. So I can do more of that for sure. I'm trying to think now.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
You're very familiar with the going first makes it safe for other people.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to go back and challenge you with the conversation you had yesterday, because it's something that you are very good at. You are very, you're so compassionate, and you are so, you are a space for people. Mm-hmm. You're beautiful with it. But how much of the vulnerability do you share that's just enough of the vulnerability so they feel that so that they can go? How much of it are you really being vulnerable, or is it a tool to create a safe environment for them?
No, it's very much a tool. It's very much, I'm vulnerable with what I am comfortable being vulnerable with. I'll give you this story that I have gotten comfortable with, and it's real, mm-hmm. right? It's true. It's vulnerable and it's raw, but it's only a portion of it.
Yeah.
It's not the fullness of it. And that's definitely the case. And there are so few people that I actually give all of it to. The full version, right? I'll give you the cliff notes, mm-hmm. but I'm not giving you the whole fucking book, right? And it's not to say, because there's times that I don't even know the whole book. I don't even know the whole story. I don't even have the whole picture. So I'm giving you what I've got. Mm-hmm. But there's definitely times where I'm well acquainted with this story and this novel and this book, and I am only going to use the cliff notes. So then that way it opens you up more. That's making me feel kind of shitty right now. I'm manipulating people and, only giving them a portion of myself in an effort to get more from them. It's okay. I can feel that.
For them, not from them, for them.
I get that stuff. So I don't necessarily think that there's anything wrong with that, but at the same time, I can do better. I can do more, right? I can share more honestly and vulnerably with the people in my life. Feeling shitty right now.
I recognize it in you because I do the same thing.
Yeah. No, I get that. And that's kind of what we were talking about too earlier, where people are presenting their vulnerability. Mm-hmm. Right. So,
shit.
Yeah, we're doing the same thing. We're presenting our vulnerability in ways that we feel safe.
Fuck.
I know. Okay.
Podcast over. I gotta sit here and God damn it.
So we can do better there.
Yeah.
We can show up better in all of our relationships and all the connections that we have.
Get ready, friends of Stephanie. You're getting it all. Bring in the waiters.
It's coming.
It's gonna get deep.
Just picturing the shit storm.
Yeah.
That's clouds are brewing, tsunamis rolling in.
Everybody just unfriended me on
motherfuckers.
Facebook. You're oh, we know better. Nope.
So yeah, we can bring more clarity there. What I would like to do, because this part is frustrating for me, because we do a good job on the podcast, and we can do continually a better job on the podcast, right?
Yeah.
We've got some stuff coming up at some point on this fucking podcast where we're going to get some real shitstorm shit coming out.
Oh boy.
So we can do that, and that's a good thing. And you, the person listening, if you resonate with this, please fucking tell somebody about it. We always ask you, so that more people can hear this shit. But I think I can do a better job on my social media, even though, my reach through I don't like using social media. I think at the end of the day, I think it's all silliness, right? It's a distraction and it's a waste of time. But I think I can probably do a better job. Not probably, I can do a better job of, it's silly for me to expect The Rock to show his vulnerability via his social media platform if I'm not truly showing mine. So I can do that. I can share some of my rawness via my Instagram. You're looking at me like it's not important.
No,
silly.
I'm not. I'm trying really hard because I have a whole lot of opinions and thoughts and things that just came up reference your social media. And I'm trying really hard to not let all of my face show that. So this is my trying to act natural face.
Or better yet, let it all out?
I don't know. No.
Let's hear it.
No.
Why?
Because for one, I feel judgy. 2, I feel attacking. 3, this whole like thing that we just said, I'm like, what about it am I doing on social media that's that? Because if I'm noticing it in you, that means it's in me. And fuck, there's parts of that I really don't like and I don't want to face it in me right now. So please continue talking. What are you going to do with social media? This is my emotionless face. This is my non-reaction face.
You know, you're going to have to tell me what you're feeling at some point. Whether it's on this podcast or when we push stop, you're going to have to share what's coming up for you.
I hate the fucking relationship with social media.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah.
The thing you're talking about with the guys and how they do that, like, I love you so much. I feel like yours does the exact same thing. You do that so much that it's the same thing.
I do
look at my accomplishments, look
Yes.
at my worth, look at my, and
I totally do.
I don't know why.
I totally do. How many times can I post about the ice bath that I've gotten in as a way of,
Those have never been my thoughts.
look at me, look at me, look at the hard thing that I'm doing, right?
And at the same point, that immediately puts up my defenses. Like, I'm ready. I'm like, fuck off, everybody. Yeah, look at what you're doing. You're amazing. You deserve to be, like, you got a problem with that? Come here. Like, then I become your, like, nobody better say a fucking thing because it's amazing because you're amazing and you're all of that.
So what I can do there is I can post on the day where I thought about going out into the ice and didn't because I chickened out because I didn't feel like it that day. I laid in bed in the morning and thought, I'm going to do an ice bath today. I'm going to do an ice bath today. I'm going to do an ice bath today. And then when the time finally showed up to go out and do an ice bath, I'm going to get in the warm shower or I'm going to lay in bed or I'm going to eat some candy from the Halloween bucket. And so I can show that part of it too, rather than just waiting for the once a week when I actually get into the ice, as opposed to the 5 other days that week where I thought about it and chickened out.
I hate social media. I hate social media. I hate.
But it can be more, right?
It
We've
feels
talked
like
about it. It can be more.
A constant. It is never like, fuck it. Sorry. I don't like it.
Should we just be done with all of it?
There's really like, where's I don't even want the balance. Like, fuck the balance right now. Let's take the pendulum and swing it to the other side for a little while. Let's get some actual 100% healthy posting, healthy reason for posting, healthy, like, why does it have to be? I hate how it feels. I don't like social media and I don't know what to say right now other than it's in my chest and it's in my stomach. And it seems like everybody is throwing their egos out there and trying to make it look like they're throwing their vulnerability out there. It's like, feed me, feed me, feed me, but I'm not really asking for it. It just seems so unhealthy and so fucked up and so much worth. Like Facebook, how many likes do you get? How many reposts? How many like reactions? Like either people love you or people hate you. And if they love you, then you can love yourself. And if they don't, then no. If you get 3 reactions, nobody loves you. If you get none, oh my God. Or what if people argue with you or have something negative to say? Like, that's your whole, like, why? I hate it.
So do you think...
And then feed my ego.
Do you think you and I can use it to show our... the percentage of our real, true, raw vulnerability in the present moments when we post?
I don't know.
And do you think that there's worth or value to that?
I feel like I don't really have an honest answer for that because I am so wrapped up in the emotion of it. I don't know how to clear enough of that out to get an unbiased look right now. Does that make sense?
Makes total sense.
So I need to sort it out.
Okay.
Right now, no, I can't. I'm too emotionally wrapped up in it. I don't know how to do it. I still post every once in a while.
So let's go back to the beginning of this conversation.
Okay.
Would you like to see some of that raw vulnerability from the people that you follow?
Ooh, you know what? I don't think I do. I think I'm judgy because when I see people post, like, I don't like it actually when you'll see them like do this huge vent. But it feels like so much like attention, like, cause then you have all the comments come, right? And the, what happened? Here's the details. I'm here for you. And then you get the, I don't really want to talk about it. Then why the fuck are you posting? Like the cryptic stuff. So I think wow.
I don't think I should have social media. I think it's just my relationship with it. It's either not enough realness or what game are you playing right now? It feels like fake vulnerability.
Mm-hmm.
So all of these things, I'll lead back to the point of origin.
She's pointing to herself, folks.
So I guess I just shouldn't have Facebook or any social media. I don't like it. Maybe my life will be better. Maybe I should just, what is it about it that triggers me so much?
There we go. That's the question.
Well, what is it?
I don't know.
I
don't
feel
have to figure that out right now.
strongly. You know what? It brings me fear. It brings me fear of, it brings me fear of the ways that I can't compete, that I'm not enough, that I don't have the good things to post. I'm happy to post when I'm trying, but not like, it is definitely see me, give me some validation.
So,
and then when I see the kids, I'm so afraid that they're going to get negative things and it's going to take them out. It's going to be too much.
So you just said you're okay to post when you have good things.
Or even if I'm trying.
Or even
it doesn't
even
have
if
to
you're
be
trying.
achievements. It just has to be if I decide to step in the arena,
Yeah.
then I'm okay with that.
But what does it feel like if you're posting this is so silly that we're...
I know. I'm sorry.
No. Don't be sorry at all.
Let's just scrap it.
Fucking, we're not scrapping anything. The part of this that makes it seem silly to me is that it's a fucking app on your phone, that it's social media. However, like all things in this world, it has done a wonderful job of bringing things out for people to really look at and address.
Yeah.
So we can look at it from that standpoint, even though at the end of the day, Instagram isn't important. What does it feel like if you were to post, or what does it feel like when you see people post stuff that, isn't like if somebody's going to post a picture of them that maybe is a selfie of them in bed, no makeup, and then
That I woke up like this.
not that I woke up like this, but I can't get out of bed today because my depression is so severe that this is all that I can muster is this post on social media, and I'm laying in bed all day long and I can't move. What does that trigger in you? Compassion, and I'm proud of that person. That takes a lot of strength for them to show that, or a judgment of like, look at you, you're just seeking attention and wanting people to make you feel better.
The feeling that came up immediately was celebration.
Celebration.
Yeah. Like, because the amount of strength that took, the amount of like, wow. Yeah, I would support that 100%.
Okay.
Because that is, according to my judgments, that isn't being, in my depression, I still got up and like took care of everything and did all of the, so it's the not really. And it's not the all caps, can't even get out of bed. Don't ask me why. It's just like, this is me. It's messy. My hair's all over the place. Nothing is okay. And I just put my vulnerability out there. Like, that's huge.
Yeah.
I'm a judgmental asshole.
Sometimes.
I don't like that. It makes me want to retreat even more. Like, this is why I don't share myself, because I'm kind of a dick.
Sometimes.
I'm not a good person. So.
But we all are, dear.
Mm-mm. I just think I'm not going to do anything now. I'm just going to stay away.
We all are like that sometimes. I am all the time. I constantly see shit online and I judge it.
Yeah.
I judge people. I judge The Rock. I do the exact same thing, babe. It's okay. It's human nature. What I'm talking about is we can do more. We can do better. And I think, like we both had a few minutes ago, the realization of like, okay, what can we do? Right? What can we put out? What can we put forth? If we want to see this stuff in the world, the best way to see it is to put it out there. Right? I love you. Should we wrap up?
Oh, keep talking.
No, we're done. We're good. It's okay.
That's mean.
We're really kind of at the end of the episode, baby. It's okay. I'm not stopping because you're crying.
Yes, you are.
I'm not. We're really kind of good, Steph. That's a complete episode. It's okay. Stephanie, what do you want from me, baby? I'm super fucking afraid right now. I'm not trying to
why
trigger
are you
more.
patronizing me?
I'm not patronizing you.
Or patronizing me. Sorry, I said it wrong.
That's my asshole. I'm sorry for that. There's nothing wrong with the fact that you're feeling all this stuff right now. And there's nothing wrong with the fact that we can talk about this on the podcast. And I'm not patronizing you right now.
I wish you wouldn't.
I'm trying to be respectful of you.
Yeah, okay. It makes it worse.
So what would help?
I try really hard to fix problems that I see in myself. Because if I don't, in some way, shape, or form, if I can fix something somewhere else, then I can fix that part of me that I hate myself. Because otherwise I'll just sit there and I'll just disappear. I'll just sit there and go. So when things pop up and you're like, well, that's it. We can be done. It's like, there you go. I showed up, said something vulnerable, and you're immediately done. Well, we can be done with that. It's hard. And then you no longer want to do it anymore. This is why I don't fucking show up. Why? I can help. But if I show up, people run. People don't want anything to do with this. So fuck off. When it comes to me, I'll take care of it myself because it feels like that's all I have. So what can I do? I can try. I can judge when it shines light on my demons because it fucking hurts because I so much want peace, not just within myself, but for the people that have the same demons because I know how bad it hurts. But nobody's gonna want to stick around. So when you run, I don't have compassion for you. It's like, fuck off. Go. End it. That was really hard to say. It was really hard to sit in that. I try so hard to find loopholes to be compassionate towards myself because all I feel is hate. If I can find things to be passionate about and passionate against to try and change, it keeps the fire in me. Because otherwise, so much of the time I just don't even want to be here. I don't want to do it. I don't feel like I'm wanted. So I have to find passion. I have to find fire to keep it lit in myself. And sometimes it's really, really hard to find anything that I want to stay passionate about. So sometimes my anger and judgment is a goal. So go. Do what you want to do. But I'm going to keep getting pissed off as long as I can until I can figure out a way to do it differently. Whatever.
I see you, baby.
Time to retreat.
Please don't. I'll do my best. I can do more. My fear.
By the way, is that you?
What's that?
I said time to retreat, and you said I'll do my best. I can do more. Like, why is that your fault? Why is that your problem? Time to retreat from me. It's not because you're falling short, Craig.
I don't want either of us to retreat. And this whole thing is, I want you to continue to feel safe to do the podcast, and I don't want you to not want to do this anymore. I want this to be a enjoyable experience for you. And when shit gets real difficult and real hard for you on this podcast, I am okay with ending that episode at that moment so that you don't have to try to talk into a fucking microphone for the podcast. So that's too much for me. I don't want you to have to do what you just did beautifully on a podcast. But I'm glad that you just did that. I'm glad that you continued through and expressed all of that. And I'm glad that we didn't stop. And that the person that's listening is getting all of that. You're welcome, Barb. I love you.
Love you too.
I want real, honest, raw vulnerability.
I want it to be okay for me to show up in 100% all of my faults and achievements and everything with everybody.
It's really challenging to just be balanced in life, balanced physically and emotionally and spiritually and sexually and mentally and all of these different things. It's really hard to bring balance at the same time to all of them.